You official on the Woody and Charles White team. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm okay with being a snitch. But you is a snitch too.
Atlanta is spiraling right now, completely drowning in this wild snitching epidemic that got the whole city being called straight up Ratlanta. Back in the golden days, legends like Gucci Mane stood tall and proud, screaming, "I'll never snitch. I'll die before I snitch." That's exactly why people still salute him as the real G, the untouchable king who held Atlanta down with loyalty and grit. But now,
this management team's trying to figure out, they're fighting for their lives right now, man. Who's a snitch, who's not a snitch? It's a snitch off this.
with new rappers flooding the scene and the chaos swirling around YSL, that once sacred street code looks like it's getting tossed straight into the trash. Everybody knows this so-called Rat-lanta wave really exploded during the Young Thug RICO case. It all started back in May 2022 when Thug got smacked with that massive indictment alongside 27 YSL members. And from that moment, the city was on fire. At first, Thug was seen as the torchbearer for the code, loud, proud, and calling out anybody who even smelled like a rat.
Was there more brothers than Bird and Wayne?
Oh, Roscoe and Lil Wayne? Were more
than used to brain Wayne.
His shots at Gunna were relentless, from sly subliminals online to straight-up public disses that branded him as a traitor. But then came the curveball that flipped everything upside down. Out of nowhere, a 2-year-old police interrogation video resurfaced, and suddenly, the man pointing fingers was getting hit with the same ugly label himself. In that leaked footage, Thug allegedly named Pee Wee Roscoe as the one holding Lil Wayne's strap, even hinting Roscoe was tied to that infamous tour bus shooting.
Gunna ratted from saying, "Yes, ma'am"? You mean to tell me this not making a rat by saying, they said Roscoe the bus up? And then a nigga.
Once that clip hit the internet, social media lost its mind. Fans and haters alike instantly started calling Thug a rat. He tried to push back, claiming the video never even made it to court since prosecutors couldn't use it, so technically he wasn't cooperating. Thug insisted outsiders were just trying to stir drama and tear down Atlanta's rap empire. But the denials couldn't stop the avalanche, because more leaks just kept dropping. Soon jail calls were everywhere, allegedly capturing Thug's own voice talking with 21 Savage, blaming Gunna for fueling the entire RICO nightmare. In those calls, Thug allegedly said Gunna flat out lied when he admitted YSL was a gang, accusing him of putting bodies on the crew with just one statement. The tension skyrocketed even more when another call surfaced with Thug questioning Lil Baby's ties to Quality Control, CEO Pierre P. Thomas, tossing wild accusations that left fans stunned. And then came the most chilling leak of them all, a viral call where Thug's voice dropped an eerie line.
Up in them conditions like that there, he'll tell to get out of jail too. He about ready to break.
I told y'all, I am the new crop. A 2-hour interrogation, and you mad at Yak Gotti. You mad at Gunna. Gunna don't have no interrogation tapes, and everybody mad at Gunna.
Promises I made, promises, whatever. Anything you want to know in time, I'm gonna tell you. But don't tell the world. That one shook the streets to their core. After that, the drag campaign was in full effect. Fans, the media, even people in Atlanta's inner circle piled on and smeared Thug's name through the mud. But here's the wild twist that made jaws drop. Pee Wee Roscoe himself, the very man Thug supposedly snitched on, hopped on IG Live and defended him. Roscoe told the world his definition of a rat is simple. Somebody who cuts a deal with the feds to save themselves when they already guilty. And in his eyes, Thug wasn't that. And according to Roscoe, Thug never crossed that line. But the streets weren't buying it. The moment Roscoe jumped online to play defense, people immediately claimed he was either brainwashed, pressured, or just flat out scared of Thug's power. Instead of clearing the air, his comments made everything look even messier. And for someone who had built his entire image on being the ultimate anti-snitch, this was the darkest twist of irony anyone could imagine. Social media lit up, calling it a devastating checkmate to Thug's whole career.
It's someone that comply with the government, just bargaining for their freedom when they have done something illegal. What you supposed to do when you go in interrogation room, that's what you do. He told you, man, we say
the one man who swore loyalty above all else was now drowning in allegations of betrayal. And of course, You can even talk about this whole Rat-lanta meltdown without putting Gunna front and center. Gunna became the ultimate poster boy for this snitching storm the second he walked free in December 2022 after taking what AS called an Alford plea. That's when you don't admit guilt outright, but you acknowledge the state has enough evidence to convict you, so technically, you're guilty without ever saying you did the crimes. Gunna got 5 years, with 1 year counted as time served and the rest suspended. But the bombshell wasn't the plea itself, it was the video. Once the clip of Gunna under oath leaked, the internet blew up. In that footage, Gunna answered yes, again and again to the prosecutor's questions. He admitted YSL was more than just a music label, calling it a gang. He admitted knowing YSL members committed crimes. He admitted being with Thug when police found drugs and a gun, though he denied it was his. He even admitted regretting how his music might have indirectly boosted YSL's image as a gang. The second that video dropped, the debate went nuclear.
Gang. And you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang.
Yes.
Heavyweights like 6ix9ine, Freddie Gibbs, Lil Durk, 21 Savage, and even Lil Baby all took aim, branding him a rat. The internet clowned him nonstop, memes exploded, and fans split into two camps, loyal defenders versus those who said he was done forever. But Gunna and his team kept standing their ground. They insisted he never sat down for police interviews, never signed on to testify, and had no plans to take the stand against anybody. His lawyer Steve Sato even doubled down, saying Gunna's plea statements couldn't legally be used against anyone else in court. And Gunna himself tried to clear the air. He claimed that when he first linked up with YSL back in 2016, he thought it was just a crew of Atlanta creatives, not a gang. But the storm didn't calm down, because then you gotta bring up Ralo. Ralo had been tight with Thug for years, but his name also got dragged through the mud with snitching whispers. Back in 2018, he got busted with nearly $1 million worth of weed on his private plane. By 2023, he pleaded guilty and walked away with probation. But the rat label stuck like glue. Ralo even admitted he lied to the feds at one point just to throw them off, swearing he never actually put anyone behind bars. But in mid-2025, Ralo flipped the script completely. Out of nowhere, he started firing shots at Thug, accusing him of stirring division in the Atlanta rap circle and spreading fake stories to cut people off.
Sounding like he was ready to hand them the whole YSL playbook.
Methamphetamines and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
My talent and music indirectly furthered YSL the gang to the detriment of my community. YSL as a gang must end. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Woody flat out admitted to shooting up Rich Homie Quan's.
According to Ralo, Thug even told Lil Baby to distance himself by spreading lies about Ralo being a snitch. And just like that, another messy back and forth exploded, adding yet another scandal to Atlanta's already chaotic rap war. Thug wasn't about to stay quiet. He clapped back hard, flipping the script and calling Ralo the real rat. According to Thug, Ralo was the one who actually snitched on people who ended up locked behind bars, even accusing him of offering to testify against both him and YFN Lucci just to shave down his own sentence. That accusation hit heavy, because if true, it would have meant Ralo sacrificed everyone else just to save himself. But that was only the beginning of the betrayal parade. Enter Unfunk, Young Thug's own older brother. Back in December 2022, Unfunk shocked everybody by taking a plea deal almost identical to Gunna's. He pleaded guilty to RICO and theft by receiving stolen property, walking away with a 12-year sentence, though 2 years counted as time served and the rest turned into probation. The moment the news dropped, fans and blogs went crazy, accusing him of turning his back on his own blood. The internet branded it one of the coldest betrayals in the saga. Unfunk wasn't having any of it. He jumped online and clapped back, posting, "Damn, people really think I told on my own brother, SMH. Show me in the paperwork I told on anybody. LOL. I'm not even finna entertain any of it. Peace and blessings." He tried to laugh it off, but Reddit and the blogs weren't letting go.
A young lady went over to her place. She was there, he was there. At one point, she opened up a door. 5 guys come.
Some fans took it as a show of loyalty.
Many users argued his plea looked almost identical to Gunna's, maybe even worse, since unlike Gunna, Unfunk was literally Thug's brother. That comparison kept his name locked in the snitching headlines no matter how much he denied it. And then came the most explosive name in the entire YSL saga, Lil Woody. To this day, Woody is painted as the prosecutor's golden boy, and his story lit a fire that hasn't gone out since. It all started after his October 2021 arrest during a traffic stop, where police found a loaded magazine. The interrogation footage that leaked later on made him look way too comfortable in that chair, dropping info like he had nothing to lose. In that jaw-dropping clip, Woody spoke on murder plots, warned cops that Thug was spiraling out of control, and straight up sounded like he was ready to hand over the entire YSL playbook. He even admitted to shooting up rich homie Quan's father AS barbershop with his homie Threat Trevante Turner. All because Threat was beefing with Quan. Woody described it as nothing more than a warning shot to prove YSL wasn't a T to be messed with. The video went viral instantly, and overnight Woody became the poster boy for snitching in Atlanta. But Woody didn't stop there.
Snitching on the Woody and Charles White team. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm okay with being a snitch. But you is a snitch too.
He later came out swinging, accusing Thug himself of joining the so-called rat community, saying Thug had flipped just like him and a few others. The irony had fans in disbelief. Thug, the loudest anti-snitch voice, now being branded the same way by his own associate. And if that wasn't messy enough, even Lil Baby got dragged into the storm. Baby was never charged in the YSL case, but by 2024, rumors started flying that he had cooperated in some unrelated legal matter. That was all it took for the blogs to slap his name alongside Gunna and Thug in the snitching debates. Rappers began throwing shade, blogs started posting receipts, and suddenly Lil Baby's reputation was under fire. The tension only deepened when whispers surfaced about Thug's leaked jail calls. Allegedly, Thug hinted that Gunna's 2023 track, Bread and Butter, was really throwing shots at Baby. To add fuel to the fire, Thug even fired off a cryptic tweet aimed at Baby. What S understood, ain't a T got to ever be explained. I am with Cha forever. Fans couldn't tell if it was loyalty or a veiled warning. Some fans read Thug's cryptic tweet as a loyalty pledge, while others swore it was him low-key addressing hidden tension with Baby. And Baby didn't exactly stay quiet either. On a podcast in December 2024, Baby made it crystal clear. He doesn't rock with snitches. He flat out said it's a rule of his. Never work with rappers who cooperate, and those morals are never leaving him. The message couldn't have been louder. If you're branded a rat, don't expect a feature from Baby. But the saga didn't end there. Enter Yak Gotti, another name drenched in controversy. Yak was indicted on multiple charges, including the 2015 Donovan Thomas murder and the YSL RICO case. Somewhere in the chaos, a leaked audio snippet surfaced with Thug allegedly calling Yak a rat, saying Yak had been tricking him for years without him even knowing. To make it worse, YSL Duke hopped on publicly, accusing Yak of snitching too. The internet jumped on the pile instantly, spreading the stain like wildfire. Yak's lawyer rushed in to do damage control, insisting the interrogation video floating online had nothing to do with the YSL RICO case, and swearing Yak never snitched on Thug. Still, even the lawyer admitted Thug cut ties after discovering Yak had supposedly told in the past.
Father did go to Italy during World War II. He was stationed there, and he seen the Gucci clothes. You know, he came back, he called my dad Gucci boy. He called.
What made Yak's case so different, though, is that he didn't fold like so many others. While co-defendants lined up for plea deals, Yak Gotti took his chances with a trial in December 2024, and shocked everyone when the jury found him not guilty on every charge. It was a massive courtroom victory, but the rat label didn't disappear. Thanks to leaked footage, accusations from his own crew, and the online smear campaigns, that stain on his name just wouldn't wash off. And when you zoom out, the picture gets even darker. Atlanta's rap scene is trapped in a non-stop loop of accusations, leaked audios, denials, and endless finger-pointing online. Every other week, some new clip drops, some new name gets branded a rat, and then they jump online swearing they're still solid. The trust that once glued Atlanta's rap game together? Completely gone. And that's why this moment feels historic. The old Atlanta, the one Gucci Mane embodied when he proudly said he'd die before he ever snitched, feels dead and buried. Which brings us right back to Gucci Mane himself, a name that still carries enormous weight. He's one of the most respected, yet complicated figures in hip-hop, especially when it comes to Atlanta's trap movement. For years, Gucci moved like a man married to the street code, loyal to silence, and worshipped by the trenches. Through ups and downs, jail stints, reinventions, and a music catalog that never stopped growing, he managed to protect his reputation like his life depended on it. Gucci's story began far from the spotlight, in Birmingham, Alabama, where he was born. By age 9, he was living in East Atlanta with his grandmother, and that's where the foundation for who he'd become really started. His father, Ralph Dudley, was a hustler and a con man, and Gucci soaked up that street-smart survival mentality straight from him.
Put that in the dirt.
I tell you what.
Smoking on Pookie Load.
That bar alone.
Even the name Gucci Mane ties back to family. His grandfather picked it up while stationed in Italy, passed it down, and it eventually stuck as Gucci's lifelong moniker. It all started with just $50. Gucci's mom handed him the cash one Christmas, thinking he'd buy toys like any other kid. But Gucci's mind was already wired different. Instead of hitting the store, he flipped it into crack. And that first taste of the hustle locked him into a path that would define his life forever. By 2001, the game caught up to him. After selling to an undercover cop, Gucci caught his first documented charge and landed on probation. Around the same time, he got kicked out of Georgia Perimeter College, and with no steady future in school or the streets, he decided rap had to be his escape route. By 2005, his gamble started paying off. His breakout came with So Icy, a collab with another rising Atlanta name, Young Jeezy. The track was an instant smash, blasting both their names into the spotlight. But instead of brotherhood, it sparked one of the most infamous beefs in hip-hop history. The two clashed over ownership of the record, and things spiraled fast. Jeezy escalated with his diss track Stay Strapped, basically putting a bounty on Gucci's chain, and even his life. That wasn't just rap talk. It turned deadly serious. In May 2005, Gucci was in Decatur, Georgia when he got ambushed by a crew allegedly tied to Jeezy's side. In the chaos, Gucci pulled his gun and fired shots. One of the attackers, Henry Pookie Lock Clark II, ended up dead. His body was later found behind a middle school. Gucci quickly turned himself in, telling police it was straight-up self-defense. By January 2006, prosecutors dropped the murder charge due to lack of evidence, and Gucci walked free. But the shadow of that shooting never left his name. It became part of his legend. Instead of running from it, Gucci leaned into it, weaving Pookie Lock's death into his music and his beef with Jeezy for years. He taunted Jeezy relentlessly, cementing the shooting as a grim symbol of his survival. The tension came to a head during their 2020 Versus battle, when Gucci dropped the chilling line live on stage. "Go dig your partner up, dude. Bet he can't say ish." The crowd froze. Even in 2024, nearly 2 decades later, Gucci was still flipping that dark chapter into art. On his track Rumors, he rapped, "DA dropped my murder, didn't have evidence to prove it. I think my house is haunted. Yeah, by who? The ghost of Pookie." But Gucci's legend isn't just about music or beef. It's also about his insane history with the law. Few rappers have been tested by the system as much as him, and still managed to come out stronger. Across his career, Gucci's been arrested around 9 times and spent over 4 years behind bars, each stint only adding fuel to the story of his survival. Ironically, while Gucci was still locked up serving that assault sentence, he got word that the Pookie Lock murder case had been dismissed. But if he thought his legal nightmares were over, he was dead wrong. Gucci's drama with the law was far from finished, and what came next would only add layers to his already infamous reputation. By 2011, Gucci was sentenced to another 6 months behind bars, this time for pushing a woman out of a moving car after she rejected his advances. The incident made headlines across the country and later cost him $58,000 in a civil settlement. Around that same time, his probation violations kept stacking up. He was ordered to complete 600 hours of community service, but between 2008 and 2010, he only knocked out 25. Those slip-ups kept throwing him right back in jail. Then came November 2010, another wild headline-grabbing moment. After a reckless driving incident spiraled out of control, Gucci allegedly punched a man. His lawyer filed a rare special plea of mental incompetence, and the court ordered a full psychiatric evaluation. By January 2011, Gucci was admitted into a psychiatric hospital, Days after his release, he turned the culture upside down again, this time by debuting the now iconic ice cream cone tattoo on his face. That single piece of ink instantly became one of the most infamous and recognizable tattoos in rap history, cementing Gucci's place as one of hip-hop's most unpredictable figures. But Gucci's legal battles didn't slow down.
And taken to jail as after a judge revoked part of Radrick Davis's probation. Prosecutors complained that the rapper had only completed 25 hours of the 600 hours of community service.
In March 2013, he was arrested after allegedly smashing a fan over the head with a champagne bottle at a nightclub. That charge came with aggravated assault, a $75,000 bail, and then a swift rearrest for violating parole. By September 2013, things escalated even further. Gucci caught back-to-back arrests just days apart, with, if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss the next drop.